In Hávamál, or modern Icelandic Hávamál, the book of wisdom attributed to Odin that appears in the Poetic Edda, there is a stanza that's fairly famous that goes like this in the original with Old Norse pronunciation. Hvors þú bolkant, kveðu það bolviat, og gevat þínum fjóndum frið. Now, and that follows a repetitive intro lines to a bunch of stanzas in this section. What that looks like is, where you know evil or recognize evil, bol is a word for pretty much anything that's especially like an intentional ill, right? Violence, murder, strife. It's a word actually pretty strongly associated with Odin himself. In one of the Helgi poems, Helga Kvitta Hundingsbana 2 in the Poetic Edda, we hear that Odin causes all bol. In the story of him retrieving Otherir, he takes the name Bolverker, evildoer. But when you know or recognize evil, that part is fine. But then the next line is a little bit hard because actually the abbreviation that's used in the manuscript for that third word could be either thought, it, or there, for you. And either way, they use a lot of abbreviations and those two words can be abbreviated the same way. Either way, this line doesn't quite sound normal. So it's either, apparently the intent is either something like, say it is evil. So when you see evil, call it that. Okay, reasonable enough. Or when you see evil, claim it as evil for yourself, right? Perhaps a little bit about a little bit like the notion that injustice anywhere is a threat to justice everywhere, or something like that. Either one seems in keeping with the general spirit of the advice in this poem, but it's just hard to grammatically reconcile this line because it looks like if you take it as thought, it, then it's say it at evil is really literally what it says. But if you take it as you, then it's say it for you at evil, right? It doesn't grammatically add up to normal Old or Modern Icelandic. And then that final line, and don't give your enemies peace, is a fairly easy reading of og gefa þínum fjóndum frið. But friðr means love in earlier Old Norse. It could also be and don't give your enemies love, although this part of Hávamál, the Lodfafnismál, is the latest part of Hávamál on linguistic grounds.